Hey, what's up everybody? It's Noah from PhoneDog.com and welcome to Own Your Phone. Alright, this is the first in a series of videos I'm going to be doing all about your phone and getting the most out of it. We're going to cover cell phones, we're going to cover service, networks, accessories, rate plans, entertainment on your phone, all kinds of stuff. If it's related to owning and using a cell phone, we're going to talk about it here. Alright, as always, you can find out lots more over on PhoneDog.com. There are blogs, more videos, reviews of phones, news, all kinds of stuff. So when you're done watching this, go check it out. Now, today's episode is going to be about the basics. It's going to be about types of networks and services, and of course, types of phones. Got a bunch of phones to show you here. We're going to get to that in a minute. But first of all, the basics. Networks. In the US, there are basically two kinds of networks, GSM and CDMA. AT&T and T-Mobile are the big service providers that use the GSM network. Sprint and Verizon are the big ones that use CDMA. The big difference is that GSM is the standard that most of the world uses. Not everywhere, but most of the world outside of the US uses GSM. So if you have a GSM phone, you can take it overseas and you can roam on other networks and use it. If you have a CDMA phone, it's not going to work overseas, okay? South Korea uses CDMA, but they have different frequencies and technologies, so your Verizon or Sprint phone used here isn't going to work over there. CDMA phones are hardware locked to a specific account. In other words, if you want to change your service, or if you want to change your phone number or something like that, or give your phone to somebody to use on their CDMA account, you have to call the operator and they have to switch it for you. GSM phones have what's called a SIM card. SIM stands for Subscriber Identity Module. And on a GSM phone like this Sony Ericsson one, usually under the battery cover you find the SIM card slot. So this is a little card that you can pop out and you can put in different phones. And as long as the phone is compatible with the network the SIM card is on, or it's an unlocked phone, you can go from phone to phone. You can use your smartphone during the day and your fashion phone at night, or whatever. You can try different phones out, and you don't have to switch your service or call the service provider to switch phones. You just pop the card out, put it into your different phone, and for the most part it'll work. Now, of course, no matter what kind of phone you have, what you're going to be able to do with it has a lot to do with your service provider and the kind of service plan you have. In the US, most people have traditionally bought their phones through their service provider. And they'll get what are called locked or branded phones. So you'll see, on this one, not just the Samsung brand, but T-Mobile on it on the bottom also. Or, this one, Samsung and Verizon. The other alternative is an unlocked phone. This Sony Ericsson, for instance, you'll see it only has Sony Ericsson labeling on it, because this is unlocked. It's a GSM phone you can use with any GSM provider. I didn't buy it from T-Mobile or AT&T or another network. I bought it, I bought this one at a store, but it came direct from Sony Ericsson, not through the operator. The difference is basically that an unlocked phone will do whatever the manufacturer programmed it to do, so long as your service is compatible. So for instance, the email program, the messaging, all that is Sony software. And since my T-Mobile data plan has, internet messaging on it, I can use that functionality. A phone that's branded, like Verizon phones are notorious. They have Verizon-specific menus on them. All the networks do, but Verizon's are kind of, known as being kind of the most, Verizon-specific. And so they allow certain functionality, don't allow certain functionality, that kind of thing. Irrespective of what Samsung built into this phone, Verizon shapes it to provide the services that they want to provide. So when you get an unlocked phone, you have a little more freedom in terms of, if you're technically minded and you want to mess around with the phone a little bit, you can sometimes do some tricks to get extra functionality out of it. But the flip side is that you're on your own as far as figuring that stuff out. When you have a branded phone, it's easier to get tech support from the company, even if you can't always do all the things with the phone that you could do with an unlocked phone.